Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for joining us. We are now going to get started on today's webinar, Introducing Asigra AWS Snapshot Manager. The presenters for today's webinar is Aaron Farragon, Executive Vice President here at Asigra, as well as we have Lina Litvin, who is our Project Manager at Asigra. My name is Tricia Santaguida, and I will be your moderator for today's session. And please note, we're actually going to have a full Q&A at the end of the webinar. So if you have any questions, please submit your questions using the interface, and you'll notice that's on the right-hand side of your screen. So without further delay, let's get started. Aaron.
Thanks, Tricia. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today. Today we're excited to be sharing with you an overview of the new Asigra AWS Snapshot Manager. And for those that have attended our 2015 Partner Summit last summer, we introduced at that time the business benefits of the AWS Snapshot Manager, and basically the conversation was primarily around how this particular solution can help you, kind of deploy this land and expand strategy to allow you to expand your total addressable market. And attaching that to the ever-growing AWS community. There are more and more customers adopting AWS, every month and inside your customer base. So today we really wanted to focus on how the solution works, give you a high-level details relating to some of the co-branding and the support around this product, outline the features and some of the functionality and how you can launch the solution inside an AWS environment today. So as Tricia mentioned, joining me is Lina Litvin, our project manager in the development organization, the engineering organization, who's here with me today, and her and I are going to present this to you. So let's get on with it. Quick agenda. What is the state of the current infrastructure as a service market share? What is the problem that this Asigra AWS Snapshot Manager solves? There's actually a specific problem. We'll get into that in a minute and describe it to you. What is the Snapshot Manager? Pricing, the branding, and the availability. Some of the market positioning and go-to-market resources. And then, as Tricia said, we'll do a quick kind of a Q&A at the end. So these two slides really are kind of self-evident, this one and the next one. And they really represent kind of why AWS is where we started with a snapshot manager, and just because they just dominate the market right now. There's so much market share that they're getting. I think Microsoft is doing a very good job, competing with them. But at the end of the day, at this point in time, AWS is still the clear winner. So that's why we wanted to start there in creating an AWS or creating a snapshot manager. So what's the problem? The problem that we are solving with this specific solution is that the AWS product philosophy is very much, let's give the customers the minimum functionality that we can afford to give them to make it a good enough experience for them. And that way we can monetize 80% of the value. And if any of the customers or the users wants more functionality, well, they can either build it themselves, or maybe we have some partners in the ecosystem that they can help them build some solutions around it. So that design philosophy extends to a lot of the functionality that AWS provides, and especially as it relates to managing snapshots, because at the end of the day, what AWS provides is a single command line interface. And so what that does is it causes the customers to have to actually build a tool instead of using a tool. There's no management functionality there. It's no single pane of glass. There is no scheduling. It's very time-consuming for them there. And as we were talking to customers and partners that have customers that are using AWS, and as we looked up and down on the forums that AWS has where their snapshot functionality is being discussed, we saw that there was a lot of pain and suffering and kind of a lot of angst and complaining and so on about this single command line interface. And what it causes is it causes the customers to actually have to do a ton of script writing. As I said before, they're building a tool instead of using a tool. And I took a look at it and I kind of took a step back and I said, it seems to me that there's an expectation gap. And the expectation gap that exists is one where these developers and admins that are using AWS have developed their applications and their solutions in the past with on-prem solutions and on-prem environments, and those environments had professional operators, professional managers of the storage, of the snapshots, of the backups, of security, of other elements, and all they were focused on was just developing the software or managing their applications. And when they move the applications, or as they're developing applications in AWS environments, those ops people don't come along with that. And so these admins and these developers all of a sudden realize, oh no, I'm the one that has to manage the snapshots. I'm the one that has to kind of make sure that I remain and my application remains in compliance with any regulations that I have to meet. And so that doesn't always come along, and there's this expectation gap that gets created. And wherever there is a gap, there's an opportunity as we see it at Asigra. So there's really not a lot of documentation. There's no upgrades. There's no maintenance for this command line. We're seeing forum commentary about when people leave their role, the new person comes in and has to rewrite some scripts, or they don't even understand the scripts and they have to just start all over again. And it creates a lot of this kind of a suboptimal experience for customers and for admins, which is poor morale, demotivating them, and basically increasing the overall costs that they didn't really think about when they were saying, oh, let's move to AWS because it'll be cheaper there. None of these kind of things they weren't even really contemplating them. So this is just a slide that we got in a couple of weeks ago from Spiceworks. All of you should know about Spiceworks. It's a community of millions and millions of professional IT folks that are looking for ways of how to manage their environments better, and they ask questions, and there's various vendors and Asigra's there as well. But this is an IT professional looking how to manage the storage and the snapshots and the backup of his AWS environments, and so this is a classic example of the kind of market requests coming in. So let's talk about what is the Snapshot Manager now that we've covered the problem. Basically, it's the first enterprise class automated snapshot management tool for the AWS community. So if you have customers that are running workloads on EC2 and they've got EBS volumes, elastic block storage volumes storage, and they have to take snapshots like all good operators do, this tool allows them to do it in a much more professional, automated, manageable way. It allows them to create machine images across various regions because many customers don't want to just rely on one AWS region, create retention rules, schedules, get reports and notifications around those snapshots. So really kind of driving towards the management capabilities of professional operators for on-prem volumes and to be able to do it for these volumes that are sitting inside AWS. So our design objectives and mandates and criteria were to make it easy to use, make it scalable, policy-based. You'll see that we've got our new user interface in there. It's got 3 kind of panels, and I'll show you that in a couple of slides here. Basically address as many of the pain points that people were complaining about and solutions they were looking for in the forums so that they can address those requirements. We've covered security so that you can only create snapshots based on credentials that you're inputting into the user interface, giving you reporting, notification, and alerting status, and so you can see the various activities that are happening with your snapshots as well. So, you know what? The solution actually does snapshots, and it is VFS aware. And maybe I'm going to stop here for a second and just ask Alina. Alina, are the snapshots only are they only crash consistent, or are they also application consistent? Because there is a difference in the world of snapshots, and some vendors and some kind of snapshotting tools are only crash consistent, while some are application, some do both. Where is the Asigra AWS Snapshot Manager on that?
So the Asigra AWS Snapshot Manager does application consistent snapshots for Windows VMs. You do that by installing the Asigra consistency service on the Windows VM that you're trying to snapshot. And the AWS Snapshot Manager application will communicate with this service, and every time a snapshot needs to be launched, basically that service will ensure all the VSS prep work is done to ensure application consistency.
Got it. Okay, so for now, this is for Windows-based applications running in a Windows environment.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay. I know that here you'll see the top bullet point here say Windows and Linux. In fact, we launched, and the Windows version is available right now in the AWS Marketplace, and the reason is because the Linux one is right behind it. The Linux version is still in with the Amazon approval organization. Basically, as you create applications that sit in the AWS Marketplace, you have to submit them for approval, and they go through this approval process. The Windows one has come out of that, and the Linux one is somewhere in that environment, in that organization, and we're hoping for it to come out any week, so imminently, and that's why you're not going to see it there right now. But the Windows one is there, so that hopefully explains kind of what's happening. The tool allows you to, again, do rich reporting, get real-time alert notifications for the application, for the snapshots as well. One of the most important things is the deletion of the snapshots. You can create these retention schedules and delete snapshots. And the reason why that's important is in our discussions with AWS administrators and application owners, as well as in the forums, one of the things that they hate is that they don't do a good job deleting their snapshots, and then at the end of the month they get these invoices from Amazon because they forgot to delete their snapshots. And while that's good for Amazon, the customers get irritated because they have to pay more money because the snapshots use up storage. And so this tool allows them to kind of manage the costs around their AWS workloads as well. So how it works, basically, you're able to take snapshots of one or more instances of your EC2, of your AMI, and the volumes inside of it. And as an admin, you can preserve these or delete them based on a schedule. You can do these on an hourly, weekly, daily, monthly basis, as you would expect. As an example, you can do a daily snapshot at whatever time, and you can delete that snapshot after 30 days or less than 30 days. I mean, the schedule is fairly flexible there, as you would anticipate from Asigra. So in terms of pricing, this is a free product that we are putting out in the AWS Marketplace. For our partners on the phone today, this is the first time Asigra is creating a new product that's free. This is a freemium strategy, and so it allows you to do this land and expand into your customers. So you might already be having conversations with your own customer base about helping them migrate workloads into AWS, or maybe you have a team of developers and integrators that are moving and developing applications for them in AWS. And so now all of these value-added capabilities that you're bringing to the table and monetizing your AWS strategy can be enhanced by managing the snapshots of those as well for them. The tool doesn't cost any money for your end customers. It doesn't cost any money for the partner. The support is also free, and it's really a way for you to, if you're talking to customers that are not, or to opportunities that are not your customer, it's a way for you to also introduce thought leadership and value-added information about how to manage your snapshots that they might have not thought about, and that they might be, kind of experiencing pain around today, and adding value. So this is what the user interface looks like. You can co-brand it on your own, and you just upload your own logo there. It's got 3 panels. On the left is kind of where you are. The middle is what are you doing, and what's the difference functionality that you can, and on the right are what are the activities that have taken place and the kind of reporting. And so very simple to use. One of the things that if you do co-brand it, one of the things you'll need to do is make sure that you insert your a support email so that your customers see your logo, they see your brand, and if they have questions those support emails are going to go to you, so you know what your customer is doing, and be able to assist them there. So down at the bottom here, submit a support request, as you're seeing here. So again, it's free. The license is free. The co-branding is free. And the support is free. If you decide not to use a co-branded version, if it's just the Asigra or powered by Asigra version that you want your customers to see or to use, that you want to use, the support emails will come into the Asigra support desk that we monitor and that we will support. One of the benefits of co-branding it is that your customers will see your brand as part of your land and expand strategy. It emphasizes your brand and your thought leadership position in the marketplace. By co-branding it, you can actually create your own instance and your own image in the AWS Marketplace yourself. So you can tell your customers to go to AWS Marketplace and type in your brand name, and they will see your instance as well. It's also multi-tenanted, and that means that if you have a customer that is managing an AWS environment that's global in different regions, they can also use this tool to manage snapshots in different regions. But it also means that you, as a service provider, can manage different customers and using their credentials and making sure that their snapshots are being managed correctly as well. This is the AWS Snapshot Manager page. So if you go in there, you will see, you just type in Asigra on the search bar way up at the top, and it'll bring you here. This is a little bit of an eye chart, but if you're able to kind of increase the size of this page, you will see on the bottom right that those are the prices for the AMIs, for the EC2 usage, but the software itself is $0 per hour because the software license is free. So from here you can kind of go and launch an AMI and then get the Snapshot Manager and kind of begin to experience it on your own. So of course, Tracy and her team have put together a variety of different marketing tools for you that you can hit the ground running and promote this into your customer base. And they are all in the hybrid partner portal. If you log in, you can go under the marketing tools section, which is right in the middle of the blue bar there, and then you will see under turnkey campaigns highlighted in this particular screen. You will see how to increase your brand awareness within the AWS user community, within the AWS Marketplace as well, leveraging the Snapshot Manager. We have created resources that include a web page content for you that will go on your web page if you so desire, some emails that you can send out, a data sheet, some pay-per-click ads, and web banners, all that are designed, or you can look at the copy and put it into your own design if you so choose. And they are all, again, in the hybrid partner portal, so please direct your marketing folks and ask them to consider adding this to their campaigns so that you can bring more value and monetize your AWS relationship more quickly and grow your your recurring revenue and top line revenue faster. So we're kind of getting the end. I think we're kind of gotten to the end of the slide presentation today. And if you have more questions about this, of course, please contact marketing@asigra.com. You can contact your partner success manager. If you have one, if you do not have a success manager, please contact client.services@asigra.com. And we would love to talk to you more about this. We think this is quite a good tool. I've been doing media and analyst briefings in the last several weeks, and there was a lot of good feedback that we have been receiving on this. We are actually the first enterprise backup recovery platform, that's thinking about this area, that's introduced this product. So it's, again, another Asigra first kind of, highlighting our innovation and innovative strategy that we take into the marketplace. So I think this is an important announcement for us. So I'll stop here and pass it back to Tricia for some questions that have been coming in as I've been doing the presentation.
Perfect. Thanks, Aaron. So why don't we just get started with some of the questions. Thanks again, everybody, for submitting their questions. So first question is from John. How do I get access to AWS Snapshot Manager?
So you would go to the AWS Marketplace and you will search for Asigra AWS Snapshot Manager. it will show up in a page, and you will be able to launch the AMI. The AMI is ready to go. You just need to launch it and log in, basically.
Perfect. So here's another one. Is AWS Snapshot Manager integrated with Asigra Cloud Backup software? That's a good question.
The AWS Snapshot Manager, the Asigra AWS Snapshot Manager is just a standalone tool. It does not connect into the cloud backup software that we have.
Okay. And so this is a question with regards to the freemium slide that we were talking about. So the question is good. What does it mean by freemium? Is there maybe Aaron, you want to talk about this? Is there a deadline? Is there a end of date? How would our partners get that?
Yeah, so there is no deadline. It's free right now, and our plan is not to change that. It's going to continue to remain free. It's not free for 60 days, and then there's a cost to it or something like that of such thing. And again, as Alina said, you just go into the AWS Marketplace, you type in Asigra, and you can launch your AMI and log into it with your own credentials. And there's zero cost for doing that. And again, encourage partners to go in and explore. And if there's something they can't figure out, use the support email and reach out to us, and we'll help you. If you have any other questions, we'll arrange a call and then take you through it.
Okay, and just a couple more questions. Are there plans to support Microsoft Azure?
Well, Alina, if you don't mind, maybe I'll take this one. So there might be. I think what we wanted to do, our development and engineering strategy around this was let our partners guide us and let the market guide us in terms of the development effort and the engineering roadmap that we should do. Maybe there's things in there that you'll see in this first release that you feel are important, or as you start to use the tool, you'll say, oh, it would be nifty and cool if they had this functionality or that functionality. And so we're kind of waiting for our partners and the customers using it to give us some feedback. And maybe one day there's a business case that we put together and that we understand that it's important to have this also in the Azure Marketplace. But we're going to let the market really drive that and help us decide things like that, the roadmap.
Perfect. And then let's just go with this question. Maybe, Alina, you can answer this. Can you configure tags for images?
Yes. So when launching images with Asigra AWS Snapshot Manager, you can also configure the tag to identify that image.
Perfect. Excellent. So that pretty much sums up the questions. Again, as mentioned, this webinar is recorded. So this will be made available on the Asigra Hybrid Partner Portal by end of business day today. But if we haven't answered any of your questions, by all means, please, we'll get to your questions today as well. But again, the recording will be made available on the Asigra Hybrid Partner Portal. So thanks again, everybody, for joining us, and have yourself a great day.